So it is a Wednesday, and I haven't had like a morning debriefing in a long time. I have sodas in my trunk for a different work office. It's raining, whatever. And I wanted to talk to you guys about why I started the Healing Through Conversations podcast, why I believe in talking about mental health, why I believe in talking about infidelity in relationships, why I adore talking about healing. And a lot of that is because I feel like we have closeted our emotions, right? And with some very justified reasons, because this world will eat you up if you don't know how to come at your life from an offensive standpoint instead of always being on the defensive side of things. And I always think to myself, what would I have loved to have had when I was going through all of the different situations that have made me into the person that I am today, right? Because no, you don't want to be the martyr. You don't want to be the person who has to go through the struggle in order to gain some of the wisdom and things. But okay, so you went through it. And how do you recover from that? Who do you turn to? What questions do you ask? How honest is honest? Because I feel like when we really hit a hot topic button within our own mind, we start lying to ourselves about the way we thought something was going to be or the way it really was. When if you open up your eyes, you realize that relationship, that job, that situation probably wasn't fully what you wanted it to be. And you may not have been 100% the you that you would have preferred you to be in that relationship and to have it thrive. And it's something that I really take to heart a lot of the times, because I know that over the last 10 years or so, I've matured so much. A lot of that maturity has come from situations that have given me some clarity. A lot of that comes from digging through my hurt to figure out why I was hurt about something, or why did I try to hurt somebody, or why did I ignore a situation, why did I not confront somebody about something, why was my communication style off, why did it hurt my heart, why did I hide from the situation that was presented to me, and why did I stay in something that didn't serve me, why didn't I try to work on myself more, right? And some of those things are so situational, because yes, technically we all should be working on healing, but if you don't know how to work on healing, all of it sounds bullshit. Technically, it would be wonderful if you did affirmations and mantras and affirmed who you were in the morning and in the evening. But if you don't know what that sounds like, or if it sounds like a bunch of malarkey, you're not going to do it. And yes, you should be, praising your most high. You should be living as close to your spiritual self as possible. And this doesn't have anything to do with religion. It's just you praising your body, you praising your mind, you praising your emotions, you praising your physical self, you praising your intellectual self, and really putting into your life what you want it to be, versus, I don't like when I feel a piece of skin on my lip. Now it's gonna be on my teeth. Versus what the fairy tale that you want it to be, right? Because look, I didn't even have a fairy tale about how I wanted my marriage to be, the kind of person that I wanted to grow up to become, I feel like I was very utilitarian when it came to how I saw love, very utilitarian with how I saw relationships play out, very utilitarian when it came to speaking honestly about the things that hurt me, very utilitarian about everything except for fashion. Fashion was the one place where I absolutely lived to be my fullest self. And in doing that, it's something that became my consistent companion, my constant companion, my most passionate companion, but not in a way that made it so that I wanted to tell everybody else that if you don't wear this, if you don't dress this way, it means blah, 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 blah. No. But it let me know that that part of me that was creative did have big dreams. It did have, it had grit, and it had the ability to change and to become just this wonderful, nurturing, understanding, colorful place for me. It made me feel elation. It gave me peace. It gave me joy. It made me scared sometimes because how dare I wear this one thing? I'm this size. I'm this kind of a black girl. I live in this kind of neighborhood. I know these people, just that kind of thing. And I never had to explain to myself why my fashion was. But when it came to like my relationships, when it came to my emotions, my feelings, the hurt, the pain, the joy, the laughter, I always had to come up with like these reasons why these particular things had to be this way. And if it wasn't this way, then I was living outside of the norm of myself, because I also didn't have the ability to be bendable or malleable back easily. I mean, over the last 10 years, I've really worked on healing myself, because I had to break free of the chains that I had around my own neck, the slave that I've created for myself when it came to my emotions, because I had this idea of who reigned over top of it. And it was the cool, calm, collected, nothing ever bothers you. You don't need to talk about it. Just fix it and keep moving. And I could express emotions for other people. I could talk you through what you were going through, but I couldn't talk myself through what I was going through. And a lot of that came from the fact that, when you are in environments that don't foster, it doesn't foster a safe space to say, hey, I don't like this hurts. I don't like the way this person is talking to me or us. When you start suppressing your emotions in order to keep the peace and make people happy, you lose a lot of your vocabulary and your vernacular for having conversations and expressing yourself and explaining to people why certain things and certain boundaries are like a solid, this is it for me. So I had to really work on just creating more safe spaces for me to express myself, but also more safe spaces for me to give myself permission to feel and to breathe and to be kind and to be gentle and to have grace and patience with myself. And some of that just was going to come with time, because I promise you, I just don't even have the spirit in me to be fighting shit anymore. I ain't got it. I just want to be left the fuck alone so much that I be questioning if I'm going through something sometimes. Because I'm like, if I ain't got to deal with the BS, then don't deal with the BS. But then you be like, well, everybody not BS. And you're like, I'm BS to somebody right now. So that's how I kind of look at it. But just having these super honest conversations led me to say, hey, the spirit, ancestry, God, call it what you want, is like, let's talk about these things. And I talk about it. And let's talk about mental health. Let's break some of those stigmas. Let's talk about infidelity. Break some of those stigmas. Let's talk about what it looks like to be in a marriage and go through trouble. Talk about those things, right? Like, stop creating this perfect palace where nothing ever goes wrong. And I'm not saying that this doesn't include you healing by yourself and being by yourself and having to get out of toxic shit. I'm not saying that it doesn't mean that you don't still have boundaries and preferences for where you want to be, who you want to be around, and the places that you travel to and how you live your life. But when you talk about it, you take away a lot of the venom, because when nobody can dig at you, when you know who you are, when you know what your triggers are, when you know what the things that make you feel triumphant, the things that you consider successes, and you hold them close to your heart, when people try to debunk how you feel or come at you, you won't go at it and from a defensive place. You'll be able to listen to what they have to say, see if it's anything that is palatable for you and that you can take. And then the other things, you'll be like, okay, so I'm cool. I don't need to deal with that. And that's really what Healing Through Conversations is about. That's why I decided to be an infidelity and confidence coach, because I was like, listen, I know what it's like to have to build your shit up from the bottom up multiple times, brick by brick, fucking little pebble by pebble, sand by sand. I know what it feels like to build your spirituality up. I know what it feels like to build your emotional self up. I know what it feels like to question your intellect. I know what it feels like to be mean to your physical self and to have to work on that, to repair the relationship that you have with that. Like, I know what it feels like to build your marriage up, your relationship up, your platonic relationships up. I'm still rebuilding some of the platonic relationships that I have, because when I started setting boundaries and when I started healing, I really am one of those people who had to go be by myself. And when you are a person who has to heal by yourself, the person that you come back as, it looks very different. It sounds very different. It can make people feel like they don't know you anymore. And some parts of you they don't know. And some parts of you they completely still know. It just presents in a different way. And I'm like, if we talk about those things more, if we embrace the differences that we have, if we start understanding that how we're raised, what life looked like between the ages of 0 and 3 made such a difference. What life looked like between 4 and 8, that made a difference. 9 and 12 made a difference. 12 and 16 made a difference. 17 to 21 made a difference. Who we were around, the people who loved us, the people who praised us, the people who perpetuated love in a very toxic and uncomfortable way, people who groomed us to be them. Like, just learning how to really be as present as possible. And a lot of that has to do with the conversations that we have and the places that we decide that we want to explore. So that's why I do this, right? And it doesn't always mean success. That's like what I really want people to understand, is that it does, like, all the things that I've done so far have been because the Spirit told me to do it. God told me to do it. Like, life directed me in this way. And I'm a true believer and I'm a true follower of the word. I really believe that the task that we have can sometimes feel insurmountable. No, insurmountable can feel tough. They can feel overwhelming. It can feel like it really can, for lots of reasons. But there's a lot of strength in us. There's a lot of divine gifts in us. There's a lot of structure in us that allows us to be able to absorb and then help other people heal. And it doesn't always mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that it's always successful. It doesn't mean that it's the most glamorous thing. It's all in what you want it to be and how you want to present yourself. And for me, I continue to do what feels right to me, and I pivot when I have to, and I cry and I mourn when something doesn't work that I want to work, and then I figure out how to make it work better, or how that, and or just let it go and realize that that just wasn't a part of my plan at this time, or it's not a part of my plan at all. So that is like, I just feel blessed and joyful that I even get to help one person. And I know sometimes people are like, that's so corny. It's not, yo. You don't understand what it's like to have one person contact you and be like, thank you for hearing me. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for speaking for me. Thank you for clarifying something. Or even say, hey, I don't agree with you. Can we talk about it? And then you guys talk about it. It makes such a big difference in life. So you guys be good. I know this is a long video, but you know, sometimes you have those debriefings and those ramblings, and you just gotta live in it and get it all out. Then you're going about your day. I'm about to go listen to some music and see how I can rock out. I don't have a cock out, but I'm gonna rock out for a minute and see how it works out for me. Y'all be good. Bye.